Okay, I gotta go get my mic over here. This one's a little short, but... So, are you ready to take back this country? Are you ready to end hate? There's my mic. All right, now I have the very great pleasure of introducing our next speaker. And we made it a point, okay, to be very selective in the public officials that we invited here tonight. But many of us insisted that the person that we invite is our next speaker. Because when this state decided to end the Civil Liberties Public Education Program, many thought it was gone forever. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, this is a program which funds education about the World War II incarceration of Japanese Americans. Many thought it was gone forever, but this individual, on his own, brought it back. He went directly to the governor and said, on the 75th anniversary of the signing of Executive Order 9066, we need to bring this back. Everybody, please give it up for Assemblyman Phil Ting.
Thank you, John. Always great to be home in J-Town. And can we give it up for Karen Korematsu, please? I had the distinct honor of serving as Executive Director of the Asian Law Caucus. I see Don Tamaki in the back there when he had that honor as well. And so many of us had that privilege of working for that organization. And Karen was on my board. I got to get to know Karen and her father much, much better. And it's not every day in your life you get to meet a living legend. And what struck me is exactly what Karen said, is that when the war broke out and when Japanese Americans were detained, her father wasn't looking to make some civil rights point. He wasn't looking to make history. He just wanted to live his life as an American. He just wanted to be free. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That was it. And it's just amazing what happens when we as Americans, individual Americans, doesn't matter if you're elected official, doesn't matter if you're a community leader, just regular individuals, whether it's Fred Korematsu or Rosa Parks, you wake up one day and you decide you're going to every day live and pursue that dream. And we don't know how important it is until it's taken away. We don't know how important families are until our children get taken away. We don't know how important our civil rights are until we get told we can't speak, we can't vote, we can't buy this home, we can't go here, we can't go there. Doors closed instead of doors open. And I have to say, before this last election, it really felt we were, as a state, as a country, moving in the right direction. I was there in City Hall when gay marriages were finally legalized in California. And I remember when Mayor Newsom started doing that, and everyone told him, this is too much, too fast, too far. Well, when is it too fast to give people their rights? When is it too far to allow people to pursue happiness, to live in liberty? And that's something I know ever since I was a student activist at Berkeley and looking at the Japanese American community and all the organizing it took to get the Civil Liberties Act. And what it took, family after family, testimony after testimony, because from a personal history, you all understood, whether it was a relative or your grandparents or it was a family member or a neighbor, how important it was to be able to have freedom. And so I know when John, a number of people came to talk to me about the Civil Liberties Education Fund, I said, we have to bring this back because people have forgotten. When people talk about Muslim bans and banning this and banning that, people have absolutely forgotten. And when people don't even know, won't even admit that a Holocaust happened in Europe, we absolutely have forgotten. And so I can think of no more important thing than to stand here with you tonight to talk about the incredible victory we had 30 years ago, but to remember that it was only a victory if we can talk about what was won to our children, to our grandchildren, to students. That's what Karen Korematsu does every single day. She's spreading this message not just to us who already know it, but to kids all around the state of California. It's absolutely amazing, and that's what we need to do. We have to make sure that everybody knows, and that that education, that message continues, and that that fight continues. So thank you so much for standing out here tonight and braving the freezing weather as usual. It's July in San Francisco. But most of all, thank you for standing together and fighting.